Welcome to Vinny Ten Racing and Garage Tours by Konig. So here at Vinny Ten Racing, basically what I've done and what I've done for 30 years, I think I'm the oldest, I'm probably the oldest guy in this sport, but what I do here and what we've always done here and what we've always looked to do is have a premier installation shop. A lot of places buy parts, a lot of places sell parts, a lot of places make parts. One of the problems here is that when those parts go to a certain, shop, how they, for a better lack of words, how it becomes molested. And, so we really have prided ourselves on doing incredible installations on what we love, which is Japanese and import cars. We do our fair share of domestic stuff, but a lot of the stuff that we do here is import. It's not import tuner, it's just import, And so whether it's rims, or which we don't do a lot of, even though I know this is a Konig video, which we've had a relationship with for 25 years. And when we do need race wheels for our stuff, we always do seek out Konig. But it's a really small portion of our business. And this really shows how much they're interested in promoting shops, because I'm not a big seller. I'm not a tire rack or wheel distributor or anything like that. We're just a shop that knows how to, not that it's hard, but bounce a rim and put the tires on without wrecking somebody's rim. Now that's nice when you have, a 15x7 rim. Sure, anybody can do it. But when you're talking about, an 18-inch rim, 12 inches wide, going on a Hoosier slick, I mean, you could do some serious damage there. A few hundred, $400, $500, $600 just in making a mistake on mounting a wheel. So we get those kind of clients here, and I guess that's why Konig likes us. Like I said, we've been doing this for 30 years. Actually, last March was 30 years, and we've been very successful. I've made a great living out of it, and I'll show you around the shop and kind of give you a little bit of a tour and let you kind of see more specifically what we do. So here is the engine shop. Here is where we do all final assembly on all engines. We use several machine shops to get stuff done. One guy does my heads, one guy does my blocks. It would be nice to have all of that equipment, but here in New York, to have that kind of space, to have that kind of equipment, the footprint, the cost of that is just so high, including the salaries and the equipment cost, and then where to put it. So what we did strategically years ago is just aligned ourselves with two of the best. One is a cylinder head guy who machines my cylinder heads. The other guy machines my blocks. They actually both know each other. They get along really well. It's a great symbiotic relationship for all of us because there's no finger pointing. It's one of us three that did something if there's a problem, and it's one of us three that take the credit when it's a success. A lot of stuff we do, whether it's KA24, Toyota Scion motor, Subaru, V6 Nissan motor, 2JZ motor right here, another VQ motor right there, and this hodgepodge of crap over here, believe it or not, is my GTR motor, which I do probably about, not that many. We're not AMS, but although we're probably the first people that have built V6 turbo motors, modern turbo motors. We've built hundreds of those, but GTRs, we probably build maybe 10 of those engines a year, and where they go, some go to Australia, some go to the UK, some are out here in the East Coast. Some I never even see what happens to them, which is really weird. People have me build stuff, and I never see the end of it. And usually those guys are the guys that just pretty much never finish their project, unfortunately. We had a really nice floor in here, but it kept flaking, and I couldn't stand the dust and the flaking, so I'd rather deal with the bare floor, and we're in between now because we're gonna actually put down some nice tiles, so please forgive that. That was a mistake on my, that was a mistake on my part when I put this together. So we roll over here, a little bourgeois area, and right here is where we break down everything and clean it the first time. And when I talk about clean, I'm not playing around clean. I'm talking about clean, like you could wipe your ass clean. We're not talking about, oh, I cleaned it. No, you didn't clean it. You cleaned it when I told you you cleaned it. So the first thing that we do is that we degrease everything, and then we start filling each of these sinks. As you can see, it's a stainless steel 3-bin sink, and everything gets washed, and then it gets put into plastic and then into a bin, and then eventually when all the machine work comes back, we take it back out. You wouldn't believe how much material is left on pistons, how dirty rings are when they come out of the package, how nasty bearings are when they come out of the package. And these are, you know, obviously all brand new stuff, but the stuff has machining oil in it, has packing oil on it, it has people's hands on it. So everything before it goes in the motor gets final cleaned and hand finished. One of the most important parts here, refrigerator. If you're in any shop and it don't have frozen pizza in it, you know those people aren't working late at night. Okay, they are not working late at night. We'll all be here tonight at 8 o'clock. If you came by at 8 o'clock tonight, this place would be like it was working at 10 o'clock in the morning. And why? Because we love this stuff. It's how much work we get done in a day before we actually feel satisfied. Here is our dyno room. It's really cool, I like it. We built it a few years ago. You know, when we first got here, we dug the floor out, and it's an all-wheel drive dyno jet. It works phenomenal, it really does. I gotta say that this is probably one of the best tools in my toolbox. It has probably saved us more road trips, more test drives than probably anything else. Plus, obviously, having the ability to recalibrate these computers to make the cars run right is absolutely preeminently important. Without it, none of this stuff in the modern age will work. So it's really important that your car not only gets installed, but then gets tuned properly. And you know, one of the benefits that I've always wanted to have is that I hate finger pointing. I hate when people say, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, no, that was the other guy. Well, here, once I get the machine, the stuff back from the machine shop, I assemble it. And I measure and mic every single thing. And then when I'm done, it goes where I'm going to show you now. It goes into the installation area. So we do the complete install, and then when we're done with the install, then we put it on the dyno. There is no finger pointing. It is what it is. We build the motor, we install the motor, we tune the motor, period. There's no, oh, this guy did this, or this guy did this, or I gotta call this guy, or this guy's gonna put it in for me. None of that. That way, we can control the quality of the build. So, my main installer, Yadek! Yadek! Yadek, also known AKA as the Viking. There he is. He's my main guy. I build it, he installs it, we dream it up. He's also an excellent fabricator. So right now we got a catalog car. I call him a catalog car. And the reason why I call him a catalog car, which actually kind of dates me, right? Because I'm saying it's a catalog and nobody looks at a catalog anymore. So I call this a catalog car. And the reason why, which we now could call an eBay car or an internet car, which basically meant you bought this car and you kind of about halfway put it together and put it on the car and then called your Uncle Vinny and said, I'm over my head. And so now we're tasked at putting it back together. As you see in the shop, I got IS, I got Supras, I got Subarus, I got, VQ race cars. I always say that if it's got a piston in it, I can work on it. If it's got a turbo on it, I'll be happy to work on it. So that's kind of what my philosophy is. I'll work on anything with a piston and a fuel injector, and if you really want to make me happy, you'll have a turbo on it. And I started turbocharging in 1980, but it took me about 12 years, and then I opened up my first place and been going ever since. And like I said, it's 30 years now. This little bench where I sit and port heads has probably made me more power and more success than probably anything other than the dyno. On an import car, you don't have cubic inches, you have a cylinder head. So obviously, if the power is not being made by having 500 cubic inches, 400 cubic inches, the power is being made in the cylinder head. And I've always realized that. And many, 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 many years ago, I started porting, and I'm still doing it. And my hands. The hands of stone now, We usually could, almost fix anything as far as making it right. And again, I'll point it out for you. another shop, another shop, another shop, okay? These 3 came from another shop. Those are the cars outside. Ready for the ones inside? Another shop, another shop, another shop. So what's that? Six cars out of probably 20 in my shop right now. And again, people want to trust other people. They want to believe what other people are saying. But you have to really look at the shop. What kind of tools they have? What kind of equipment do they have? You know, how is their work? What other work than the work that you've seen somebody, oh, I went here, I got an exhaust on my car, it's great. Okay, I mean, my wife could put an exhaust on a car, okay? And she's in HR. And so it's not that difficult to make pops, bangs, and burbles look good. But you know, the shop has to have some depth, because this business is not, you know, it's not as easy as it seems. And if you think that you're gonna build a $30,000 car or a car that's gonna take 6 months to build, and you think you're gonna just turnkey it and drive it out the door and ride off into the sunset without any issues, you're far mistaken. There will always be things that will need to be addressed even after the build. Of course, we try to address as many as possible, but we don't drive like the customers, and sometimes the customers don't drive like us. So it's just a matter of getting to know how they drive, what they're using the car for, and then we can really dial that in for them. I will be basically import turbo for life. I'm a lifer, I'm doing life. I don't care, this is what I love doing. I've dreamed of this when I was a kid, and I'm gonna continue with it until I can't show up and be productive anymore. I already told my wife, I'm not retiring. She's like, what do you mean you're not retiring? I'm like, I'm not retiring. I'm not retiring, moving to Florida and making doctor's appointments. I'm not doing it. I'm going to work and work and work and just be as good as I could be right up until I can't take my last breath. I mean, there's other people that can't wait to retire. I'm like, I can't wait to go to work in the morning. So our focus is that we want to be everybody's best kept secret. We want to say, hey, go to my Uncle Vinny, he'll hook you up. He's been doing this shit for 30 years. You know, this is the guy. And now, not only do I have them as customers, long-term customers, 25, 30 years, I have their sons now. You don't know what trouble you and your dad, I should say, me and your dad got into when we were younger. It's nice to see them, you know, in the game a little bit. We just had a friend of mine's son come in here. He had a G35. It was nice. And to have that love affair with cars at 18 in this day and age, when everybody's doing this, as you know, that just, you know what? I'm like, yo, you can hang out anytime. You can come by and hang out anytime. So that's it. I probably talked too much, and I gave you lots of stuff to work with, and I think that's it. So always, as always,